There we go. Yeah, that works. Hey everybody. If there's an everybody out there, I'm actually just cleaning a little bit of mold lines right now. Waiting for peeps. If any peeps show. I'll get my freehand colors prepped. Ooh, lots of. You can tell that this model has been, this Reaper model I'm working on has been needs probably a mold remaster. When you get a lot of flashing, either that or somebody was using not great settings when they were casting it. Can never be sure if it's mold or caster error. I don't know that much about casting. As I always felt that I would probably end up sticking my head in the pot if anybody made me, like, try to cast. So I never learned how. Hey there, guys. How's it going? Do we have sound? Because, you know, like, OBS did an update, and it likes to forget my mic. Yay! So I decided what model to use for the Reaper 3-color challenge, guys. I'm going to use Trista. Trista, ye old white wolf with the wolfy shield. I sound perfect? Well then. That's always good, right? Fantastic. I guess I'll actually, I'll stop compulsively cleaning the flash and mold lines off this model then and actually get to freehand on the halfling like my subject bar says I'm going to be doing. There. I just wanted to get a start on cleaning this model. And once you start cleaning mold lines and flash and crap off of a model, you tend to get stuck in. So I got stuck in. But yeah, so I'm going to use Trista here. She's a female warrior with a strong, like, northern wolf theme. And her shield slots onto her arm. It's a very nice sculpt. But I'll be doing her for the Reaper 3-color challenge. So that's with, and I think I know what my 3 colors are. It's actually going to look a lot like the halfling there, but not really. So I think those are my 3, because it's orange, pink, and purple. So I think these are my 3 colors. Orange, pink, and purple, and black and white is the 3-color challenge. And the 3 colors always change. But this time it's orange, pink, and purple. And because orange and pink hate each other more than any other colors in the world, I decided I would actually do this one and probably do it on stream. Oh, here's Trista's number for those who are interested in her. So yeah, once we get into April, there's that challenge is going on in April, and I'll probably do it because I really love limited palette painting. So I thought I would give it a go on stream because fun, right? All right, but let's get back to this. I was putting some dirt effects on last time. Let me get up where I can get in focus. And then in. There we go. So we were doing some weathering and dirty effects. Put some dirt on her knees. But she, by preference, I think, is a pretty spifftastic rogue who dresses pretty flashy. So I want to add some freehand designs down the side of the pant leg. And I'll probably do this side first because it's going to disappear when it gets up there. I want to do a fairly narrow band and make this fairly fine. And it's going to be a pretty simple design. Normally I block in the area, and this will actually work this time because the purple here is so dark. But I would normally block in the area that I'm going to do freehand in with a dark, like, band or whatever I'm doing. If I'm doing, like, panels or anything, I'll actually start with a dark band, work over it with white, and then do glazes depending on the color that I want these to be. I thought about... I was strongly considering gold. But I might do silver instead. I might. I actually even thought of pink. It's a hard call here because the gold is complementary to the leggings. And there isn't going to be much gold on her otherwise. Like maybe the little details here. So I guess there is a good argument for gold because all the buckles are going to be in silver. And so gold isn't a bad choice. And it would go with the hair. So I guess I could do it that way. So let's do that. Let us see how tiny we can get with our freehand detailing today. And heck, we'll start on the big broad leg where we have all the room in the world. Though I do kind of want to look and compare because I think probably my middle... You have to choose an area where your design is going to be very clear so that the audience will be able to interpret the design even when it's cut off. Whether that's by folds or by items like these knives or by items like these bands. So we have to think about that. We have to choose an area where our design is going to be very, very clear. Here it's easy because here and probably down here. So I'll probably start up here and work down. And grab some water. Boop. And I'm using walnut brown because it has very high coverage even when it's thinned. So I can get it to go on very smoothly by thinning it and it will still have very high coverage over the purple. And I'm going to be doing a band. Another thing I could have done is do like lace, right? Do a banded lace pattern like the Renaissance Fair leggings with the crushed velvet with the lace panels up the sides. But that would be a little less roguey. So, alright, let's see how thin or thick I want to make this. I'm going to start it pretty thin. Make it just a pretty thin band down the side of the thigh and the leg in general. Then I have to question whether to take it all the way down the leg. Got a lot of wrinkles in here, and that's going to interrupt the design. And I've decided I don't want it to necessarily show from the front. I don't want to take it all the way down to the front of the leg. So we're pretty much just blocking it, and it's barely visible, you can see, because the purple is so dark. I do need to make sure that I have it at a consistent width. Probably can widen it a little bit toward the knee to do that, achieve that. That's probably the best option, is to widen it on this side. Don't want it to go all the way up onto the calf or anything. Want it to really be on the side of the leg. That looks pretty good. All right, now. Yeah. It's more that the wrinkles will alter the freehand pattern, distort it. And we'll see if I'm going with too fine of a pattern. The best freehand, the clearest freehand, the most complicated freehand is done on a surface that doesn't have too many interruptions. The more interruptions you have, the more you have to go with a very small, repetitive design. Or one huge, broad design, like a simple band with small details. Hey, Nebula. What's up? I am having a good day, as a matter of fact. And David has to cook tonight. Which is awesome. It means I don't have to cook. That's okay, because I'll probably cook tomorrow. But it means I don't have to, like after this stream, well, I have to get my video up for $10 tier on the Patreon. But Other than that, I don't have a lot that I have to worry about today. Oh, yikes. Yeah, lots of flat panels. That makes it a little bit simpler, right, Cranston? All right, so now we're gonna see. I think I need a superfine brush. Do I want to use my brand new Raphael? Or do I want to use tiny brush? Raphael has the advantage of letting me draw for a long time, but obviously it's harder to control the paint on the Raphael because it's so big. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a band. I want an outside band. And the first layer can really be a sketch. This is about 3-to-1, I want to say, this paint. Maybe 4-to-1. I might actually need more water. Or I need to just load up a little more on my brush. When it has trouble coming off the brush, usually the answer is that you need to make it a little bit more thin. And usually I would thin more, so I guess I should do that. I should just go with one more drop of water and see how that does. If it's a little bit too much, then I can back off and go back. Big Tiger Man, the only time that any adventurer in the games I have run have used the Deck of Many Things, it was a player who really just wanted to sow randomness and chaos in the game. Same with Wands of Wonder. Often, meaning like circles, like if I was going to do a big ring on this, well here, yes and no, if it's warranted, Strato, hey. So if it's warranted, I will do a round design. Like on Mr. Targaryen here. With his Targaryen three-headed dragon from Game of Thrones. This is the one I did for Dark Sword that Jim just put up on Facebook. So, but the problem with a circular design is it's really hard to center. Like you really have to look at how much cape is left. It can be very difficult to make the circle good across many folds and still read as a circle. It is, because the folds are kind of scrunch it, right? It's hard for any human to draw a circle as it is, so doing it across folds makes it double hard. And your circle needs to look circly, right? So it can't be noticeably hugely lopsided, which meant that when I started this, and I actually did this on a stream on this channel, when I started this, I was mapping and remapping and adjusting this circle all over the place, like for a while, until I got it close to where it looks like a circle, right? But I had to correct a lot of it to get it. But circles are hard. Try to draw a perfect circle. You can't. You have to draw a rough circle and then correct it until you have something that the eye reads as a circle. So that's why circular designs are a pain in the butt. And then when you have a cape like this, where it's, partially over here on his arm and then partially wrapped around where your design has to be off center, then it's challenging as well. So that's why circular designs aren't real popular unless it really fits the model. And frankly, if you had a big cloak, like if I wanted to do a circle on her, it would be a bit easier because she has this big, broad, like her central area of her cloak is big and broad. And so I could do a small circle here and then spread out more freehand around it. Who knows? Maybe I will. But yeah, it's just circles are a pain in the butt, and getting them to look right. I mean, you can't really use a compass or anything. You can't use an artificial drawing aid. So yeah, you can't really use a drawing aid to make your circle. I mean, you could do a stencil, I suppose. But I always think stencils are more trouble than they're worth. Like, either way, it's going to take you a while and some fiddling to get a good circle. All right, I think I want, yeah, I guess I'll stick with this brush. I just was babbling and not painting, so my paint dried out a little. So we want to get our border down. And the border is just going to serve to kind of remind me, because it's hard to see the edge of this black area, or this walnut area, I should say. So it's a nice reminder of where it is, and it also serves to be a frame for the design. And I'm just trying to kind of sketch it in, then I can correct it. I have my walnut, so if I go too far in like I did there, I can go and bring that walnut in and correct that. I need to bring it down to the ankle. Hey, Val. She's going. We're going to do some freehand. No. I want to work. I want to get stuff done. Absalon, I have a Kickstarter coming, and I already just got a Kickstarter. So I have all these beautiful models that I have, and Roguelet here was supposed to be like pretty much a faster paint for me so that I could get her done and have something that I'd gotten done, so I could start a new project. The Templar is going to take like tens of hours. To make that thing be a competition level model, we're easily talking 80 hours. And I mean, I've already put at least 20 into it. So I decided that I wanted to work on the Rogue today because Cookie, you're right. But I don't want to be buried under models. And I really was trying to get more done, right? Like, David is just like destroying me right now. Like, he's like, I turn around, he's got 5 competition level models done in the last, 6 months. And so for me, it's frustrating, right? And then I feel overwhelmed, and then I utterly lose the urge to paint, and I don't want to be burned out. So I still have to like it, Val. Quickly for me and quickly for you are relative, and that's true of almost anybody. Every painter has a different definition of quickly. Like, I still want to be able to, like, really like this model at the end of it, so it's going to be a high-class model, but it's not going to be 80 hours of high-class model. For me, a 20-hour paint job, that's doable. Like, I could almost finish that in a week if I painted every night and this stream, right? Okay, maybe not. Well, yeah, plus weekends, yeah, I could maybe do that. And that's, like, ridiculously fast for me. But yeah, everybody's got a different definition. I mean, if your average, is 4 hours a mini, then 2 hours is going to be your quickly, right? But if you're like me, and when you work on stuff for yourself, it tends to be competition level, and your average speed is like 30 hours, then 20 hours is quickly. Hello, Hell Hero. Nice to meet you. Thanks for the follow. I'm Anne. I work for Reaper Miniatures by day. Well, actually, I work for them in their morning stream. And then I do my own thing on my own channel on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And right now we're working on a Halfling Rogue. So I have her head off right now because I want to do the freehand on her cape before I attach it. And I also want to make sure that I get these straps painted in on the back before I attach the head. So, but she's cool. She's way cool and nasty. I like her. I'm putting in some freehand panels on the side of her leggings. Last time we did a little bit of weathering and added some dirt on her scabbards and on her knees, which is going to get, more. Spray paints everything. Jairus, you're funny. Yeah, just commit. The way to get around that, Cookie, I think, at least for me, what helped was to plan a special project to use that yarn. Or to use, in my case, to plan a special project to use that model. Like, okay, I've got one of these, but I'm going to make it my main entry at ReaperCon this year, and I'm going to put a whole bunch of love into it, and I can't wait to do it, Got to flip the script on yourself and go from I'm afraid to do it to I can't wait to do this because this is so cool. I can't wait to use this yarn. I've been using it. I've been holding off using it forever, but now I have a special project. It's making it special. Like, I have models, all of the stuff that I get from Ignis Art, which I really love, is all limited. And I may never be able to get another copy of it, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to paint it. It just means I'm going to put a lot of thought into how I'm going to paint it. And I'm going to try to make it, special, make it really cool when I do. Alrighty. And remember, if you start it and you don't like it, you can always just prime over it. Or paint over it. But I think it's a lot of that is mindset. Like, it's changing your mindset. Because it is the way you think about it that matters. It's mastering your brain. Which is, work, but it's not undoable. All right, so we've got kind of our frame in. Now let's try to put our design on. So I decided that what I wanted to do with this model... I decided that this rogue, not only is she a dangerous lady... Oh, I definitely need to go to Tiny Brush now. Need Tiny Brush. Nope, sorry, Big Brush. You are not hacking it. It's Tiny Brush time. Big Brush was just frustrating me. I was like, you know what? Big Brush, to heck with you. I'm going to try Tiny Brush instead. So I decided that this lady is a gambler. And so I decided to do spades and diamonds. Card suits. For her freehand. Because I could totally see her being a hard-drinking, gambling halfling rogue. So I gotta see if I can do a spade. And then I'm gonna kind of invert it and do like upside down, right side up, and alternate it. But spades are upside down hearts. And I need to have that pretty clear. For something like this where you have a very narrow piece of stuff that you're doing, very narrow panel, you want to keep it extremely simple with the shapes. Really iconic shapes. If you can. So we're going to see if I can make a spade work. And my paint is just like really going like it's like not wanting to be cooperative today. Maybe it's going to be one of those days. And that was too thick. So it is possible that I'm going to have to push this design out a little bit. Right up to the edges. Too much time with the nephews for sure, Big Apple. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Like, when you can't get another copy of something and you feel like you're learning a lot, but your skills aren't quite there then yet, that's totally fair to hold off and wait until you feel like you're a little better. But the other way to look at it, oh, too much paint. That's all right. You guys can see me blorf a lot. I'm okay with it. I'm secure in my painting ability, and if I blorf, I blorf. You just get to see me, like, correct it. Yeah, I need to widen that area. I'm going to go right out to the edge, I think. But the other way to think about the special stuff is, like, if you're really planning to do that, then find another bust that maybe would utilize the same sort of skin tones or skills. And paint that with an eye toward getting good enough for your special bust. So, like, if you have a demon bust set aside you can't get any more of, that you want to do a really good job on, get another demon bust that, maybe isn't quite as nice, but still would make you practice some of the same techniques, and paint that one. That way you can still learn, and you're still learning with a focus toward the techniques you need to paint the things you really want to. All right, Spade. You and me are going to be Spade-like. And maybe it doesn't work. Maybe I just have to do hearts and diamonds. Maybe she's a lover, not a fighter. I don't know. But Spades is the suit of spades in tarot is the suit of swords, which is why I thought it was suitable for her. Haha, suitable. See what I did there? Doing the little stem is hard. There we go. Little tiny stem. So cute. All right, now we're doing upside down. I didn't even draw this design out in advance. I just had it in my head and I was like, oh, something like that. And then we've got to do upside down down here, which is going to be 2 dots for the lobes of the, and then I have to have enough room for the little stem. So again, just kind of mapping it out. This is a very simple design because it's really just 2 circles and then you make a little peak off of them. And you've got your walnut already mixed up so you can adjust whenever you want to. And I figured the diamonds could come in on the side here. Just a tiny bit of diamondy goodness. Half diamonds, really. And, I mean, the more you fill in with tiny details, the more intricate your freehand will look. And often it looks like you spent more time on it than you did. This is relatively simple, Val. Relatively. I mean, you've seen my freaking sacrifice bust, right? With the Moorish architecture, crazy freehand embroidered on it. This is simple freehand. Trust me. Simple, simple. So simple. Although this is small. It's smaller than some of the freehand I was doing on that bust. But it doesn't require as much freehand like ability. Because you're really just linking up shapes. So, let's see. So we've got our little bottom of that little spade. And then we'll kind of bring it together. It's a right side up heart, but we have to make sure that it matches that heart. And I'm just like kind of blocking it in, and then I'm going to go over it with more white to make it kind of filled in. I need to connect the little stem. And then I don't have a diamond for there, so I can ask myself if I want a different spot here, or if I want to do a more narrow diamond. There isn't a whole lot of room. I probably just need a spot, or I'm going to judge if I want to fill that in. It depends on if I do this as multicolored freehand. Like if I decide to do the edges and details in gold, but the spades in pink or something, although that'll make them look even more like hearts, so I'm not sure I want to do that. But well, yeah. Everything is relative. Like, just like fast and slow are relative for different painters. But I mean, the great thing about where you are, Val, is that the more you paint, the better you're going to get. Hello, M. Fontana. Thank you for the resub. 8 months. Thanks. Yeah, I'm doing little spades. I'm really not sure I want that dark color in there, though. I may just have to make that part purple. Like purple from out here. So I'm going to block those out, and I'm going to see how it looks without those. And if it looks too empty with this space being dark, I'll just bring in some purple later on. But yes, yes. Thank you very much. I'm glad that you like it. I like her a lot too. I really like the beat up scabbards that we did last week. So a lot of the beginning of freehand is just like have your walnut or your black or whatever you're using for your dark color. Make sure it's really high coverage. Have it always at hand. Make sure you keep it at a good consistency. So don't let it dry too much. But keep it thick enough that you can touch up. And you always want to have that around so you can touch up your freehand. Because it's kind of like in watercolor painting, they say your sketch, in the quality of the sketch influences the quality of the finished work. So this is the sketch. And the quality of your freehand sketch is going to influence the quality of the finished freehand. So spend as much time as you need to correcting and figuring out how you want your freehand to go. Yeah, we're doing spades. She's a gambler, Cookie Tigress. So this is the period where you spend a lot of time. You spend a lot of time getting this to look really good, and then when you go in with your colors, then you can just work it right off of this, and it saves you a lot of heartache and stress because you've already made a beautiful sketch, and then if you paint over it with glazes and thinned paints, you won't have to work very hard to make it look good. So the sketch is like kind of the stress-free time where you can infinitely correct it. I mean infinitely. Like I could go back and forth and correct this like 20 times, no problem. The paint is so thin it won't build up or anything. That's why you use really thin paint for this sort of thing. Want to get that a little bit more in there. Take it right up under there. All right. So if I was being really, really, really annoying, I would figure out like how far this would go down, and then I'd figure out what I needed to do here. I still may do that. I think that'll work actually. You don't really have to stick to this. Like you can approximate how far this spade would go and then where this spade would come up. But when you've got things that interrupt your design, as long as your design is clear, nobody's really going to count how many spades you may have obscured with your band here, with your belt, right? You just, do what makes you happy. But I'll probably see another way to do this would be, okay, so down here I have a really clear area, which doesn't have many folds. And I could start a normal spade here, and then I could essentially just go in reverse and track them up the leg. And chances are nobody would call me on it if they weren't going to match up on the other side of this belt. So do what you have to. I will sketch this actually. So there's going to be that's an upside down spade. This is a spade that's coming out here. I will do some dots and then connect them to approximate. So let's say that the top of that spade is here, top of the spade is here. So let's say the spade comes down to around here. Now we're getting into some serious folds, so it's going to be more challenging. So I'm just going to really, really sketchily put this in. And say I want the bottom of that spade to be about here, and the top of this spade to be around here. And do that. Make sure I've got these going there. So just real quick sketches, just trying to like figure out how far I want to take this. Now that goes into a fold there. So I can leave that there. If something disappears into a fold, let it. Don't feel like you have to put the tippy top of that spade right under it. You can just start with a new spade on this nice clear area where spades are easy. And it doesn't have all those silly folds. And we have to kind of look at like how much room each little spade takes up. You don't want to have a big disparity in your spade sizes. That's why sketching it in can be pretty cool. Pretty good way to do things. But again, when you run into folds, your spades will be somewhat interrupted and parts of them will disappear into the ether. Sorry. So there's a clear spade. I'll go up and clarify those guys in a moment. And then an upside down spade. And doing this with just a little sketch is just my way of spacing them out. And making sure that I've got them spaced correctly at about the right size. That may be too close, actually. If I look, I need a little more room. Pretty much, I like this up here, so I'm using that as a prototype. So really, I could start with little triangles with stems. Also, I could have done that. That would have simplified the shape even more so. So this goes down too much because I have no stem. And I want about that much space between my spades. And again, using my white pretty dang thin, probably at 2:1 at this point. All right, so here's gonna be, and I'm gonna make my spade a little taller. That's better. This space, this dark space here is very similar to this dark space here, and that's what we want. We want that amount of spacing. Don't worry if your spades intersect your white line on the border. You can always adjust that. All right. And then we've got another spade that kind of disappears. Disappearing spades are handy. We don't have to do the full design. We just have to suggest a little bit of it. Enough for people to understand that there is a spade there and it is going to disappear behind that scabbard and that belt. And I'm going to go in with my walnut because I got a little bit of white leaked onto that scabbard. All right. All right. So that's going to go there. That's going to come there. We're going to have a little tip of another spade coming down here, and then a whole spade is going to be coming down there. So tip of spade and bigger spade. That's a little bit thin. I got a little bit too much water on my ferrule of my brush and didn't get it all off. That's okay. We can adjust. Blorf that. So again, cleaning up my sideline here. There we go. Gonna make the sideline cleaner up here too. And I have to clean up these little spades, and I'll do that in just a moment. Need to put my little diamonds in there too. And I need to clean that up. Seems like not a lot of viewers on Twitch recently. I'm sure there are other people, possibly people who stream longer than I do, who get a few more. Ah, okay. This just wants to creep. Just want to give it just a little suggestion that it is a full spade. Hey there, Iffy. How's it going? Oh, a few more people. Yay. It really is just that you have to stream for longer to get more people. I was like, just remarking on how few people there were, and then there were a bunch of people. Poof. Apparently, I just have to be sad about not having enough friends. There we are. That suggests a spade. And that needs to be more like the tip of another spade coming in. Yeah, that's going to kind of disappear, but I'm okay with that. Oh, all the way down. I just have to clean it all up. It'll be the last little design. What I wanted to do up here, Cranston, is to do, that's the prototype, right? So, okay, that's super clean. That's the way I want it. Now everything else I'm just going to start mapping in. And the triangles will be the last bits. I want to get my spades down first, because until I have my spades down, triangles aren't going to have anywhere to go. But yes, the upper part is the prototype design. And then this lower part is still being mapped. Over these folds, it can be very hard. And that's why you can't obsess too much about your shapes when you're going over folds and things like that. What is most important is to not worry about your shapes over the folds, but to make sure that the shapes are obvious where they show up elsewhere, over places where the fabric is plain and you don't have folds. So you want all of those spades to really look like spades, so that people will see like kind of a lopsided spade type design here and say, oh, it's another spade. So that got a little bit too far away. I almost need to get this heart a little bit lower. This spade. I think I'll do that. Six-day weeks. Ugh. Oh my gosh. That sounds so terrible, Iffy. I'm sorry. Sorry you're going through that with your job. That's just rough. I used to manage a retail store a long time ago. And being the only person, like, really, you were the one who had to... Oh. Oh, wow. David just showed me a thing that said that all California adults can get COVID vaccines next month. All right. Yay, tax day. Sweet. Thanks, sweetie.
It's not actually tax day because tax day is
I know, it's been pushed off. I know. Yeah, that's cool. Like, I do believe in vaccines, and so I will be happy to get one. Yes, and being somewhat younger peoples, David and I, we are pretty happy about that. So good. Yay, that's good news. Because we just traveled. We took a road trip to see my parents, who I hadn't seen in 2 years. And so it was really nice to see them. But I'll tell you, that road trip was like kind of scary. There were a lot more people on the road than I expected. And there were a lot more people in the hotel than I expected. And there were some people who definitely were not respectful about, like, the elevator. Like, we started taking the stairs just because the elevator was just like a sticking point where people didn't want to wear masks and they wanted to come in your elevator even though the rules were posted not to. So it's like, it was a little bit weird. And sure, they may have been vaccinated. It was mostly older people. And, but, you know, except for the one guy who had a, hey, I'm vaccinated sticker. And you still don't know if that's for real. But, you know, it's just, people were just a little bit weird. Like, a little bit pushy and not really respecting your space. Hello. Hello, everybody. Wisconsin made it available for everyone now. Oh, why am I, Abby? I mean, if you're nervous about it, you're nervous. I mean, you can always wait and see. If you're not sure, I mean, you can still wait to see, like, they still are gathering data, right, as they put this out, to see what the real efficacy and real side effects and stuff are. So I understand if you're not sure. You can always wait a little bit. I'm definitely going to go for it. Like, because I don't want to get the real disease. Like, I'm not willing to roll those dice. Because with my luck, I'd be the person ending up in the hospital again. Because I bet I've had enough hospital time, I think, is what it's down to. I've had enough hospital time in my life. 6 or 7 surgeries. I forget. I've blocked out that time of my life. But let's just say I've had enough hospital time. I don't want any more. So I am willing to take my chances with the shot, even if it gives me a fever and puts me in bed for a day. I am willing to do that. Yeah, there's still like coming back on stuff about that, right? If he like there's looks like the studies are kind of mixed where it seems like a lot of people who are vaccinated like have a resistance to even like as far as being contagious enough to pass it on. But you know, it seems to be like all over the board on that. I mean, I expect that they'll still be doing studies on this sucker like, you know, next year. Good, Big Apple. Yeah, but like those are look up the actual odds of that happening. Like and if the odds seem significant to you, then all right. But isn't it's like very low odds, the weird adverse reactions. It's far more likely you'll actually catch the disease. But yeah, I mean, do what your comfort zone is, right, Abby? It's your health. The bottom line is, I've learned this, again, through many surgeries. The bottom line is, it is your health. Do what you are comfortable with. You know, make the best decisions you can for you. You are the one who should be making those decisions, not anybody else. And whatever decision you make, well, then you'll make a decision and things will happen or they won't. And, you'll just deal with them, right? I mean, the worst... Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely valid to be unsure about the vaccines because, they were pretty much rushed into existence. And they were, authorized for emergency use. And I mean, my brother and his family, they don't want to get it because they feel it was rushed and they would rather wait it out and maybe not even get vaccinated. I don't know. They're younger, though. But everybody's got to make their own choices on their own health. And we shouldn't hold other people's choices against them. Like, I know that the press is kind of talking about, how... I guess we're not supposed to talk about this on Twitch, but, about how we got to stop variants from springing up. So that's another thing to think about. But Twitch would rather we didn't dwell on the virus. So I will unvirus myself. Unvirus my mindset. And go back to spades. Yeah, exactly. Don't run around. There are many things in life you should not lick, Big Apple, and strangers are one of them. I had a friend in college who pretty much ran for class president, and his slogan was that his vice president would keep him from licking the things he oughtn't lick. And he got a significant number of votes because college. Oh. Well, good. I mean, if it again, do your own research, my Abby, for sure. Like I said, it's your life, and you should be able to make your own decisions. And it's hard not to let other people influence your decisions, but just try to weigh everything carefully and feel good about your decision. I blurfed. But the spades are coming, though. They're coming. They're getting here. That one still needs to be a little bit smaller. Yeah, that's interesting, Val. There's all sorts of things that can come in, right? Like how healthy, how active you are, like what other problems you've got, and it's everybody's decision. So like if you want to stay away from it, stay away. Just be careful then. all I want everybody to be careful and as healthy as they can be. So that you all can continue to watch me stream. We want to all be continuing to print our 3D minis and paint our happy little models and be happy and together at ReaperCon. So do what you have to. Not running around and licking people is a good rule of thumb. Yes, yes. Assuming a level 8. You know, I'm not D&Ding today, Big Tiger Man, but well, how many spell slots do you have? Like, if you're a war cleric, do you normally have to heal? If you have to heal, then I would say keep a few more healing spells prepped than you might normally. But if your party depends on you for damage, then prep more. But, I mean, do remember that your damage doesn't really matter if everybody else dies. A good rule of thumb for people playing World of Warcraft as well. Hold on. There's so many things here. So many things. Just trying to catch up. Yeah, health is a very individual thing. Absolutely. Oh, yeah, it's possible, Strato, you know. Give you all the printed cheapies. Oh, that's good. Cranston answered your question, Big Tiger Man. Prep about 40 offensive. Oh, yeah. A bard can kill a level 1 wizard with a yo mama joke. I totally believe that. Pun damage is a thing. I used to, like, live in a house, a shared house, where a bunch of us who worked at Reaper were all, like, sharing a house together. And, boy, one of our roommates was the pun master, and serious damage ensued. You do develop a resistance to it. You do develop a resistance to pun damage over time if you live with such a person, however. I can vouch for that. Oh, you have another healer. Yeah, so it depends on if the war cleric is the only healer. You work with a pun master. Yeah, so you probably have a fair amount of resistance. Oh, I don't know. Character class builds. I really, when I was reading through the Paladin stuff, even though our Dragonborn Paladin definitely was not this type, I really liked the Vengeance Paladin kind of archetype from 5e. Like, that's really cool. I keep thinking that'd be cool to play that. The Dark Paladin kind of prototype. I like that idea. I like the idea of a Dark Paladin that's not evil. I think that's my favorite of all the things that I read about when we were starting our 5e, getting our 5e characters figured out. Oh, so close, little tiny dots. I'm getting there. I got a little bit, I feel like I got a little bit wide down here, so I may trim that in. So now that I've got most of the spades blocked in, now I have to kind of stop, and I still need to put a diamond down there. But I want to look at the width of the pattern and double check it, make sure that it looks consistent. And what I'm seeing is her kneeing is making it a little bit too thick through here, which is why my diamond is too thick in here. See how the diamond turned into more of an oval? So that's a clue that we need to trim this area in a bit. So we'll trim that in. I'm going to take the white line out and redraw it. Oh, yeah, then you shouldn't have to worry, Big Tiger Man. When was the last time I touched Pathfinder? Actually, it was shortly before I moved, so about a year, a little more than a year ago, Absalon. And it was regular Pathfinder. It was not the 2nd edition. But a friend of mine, Katie, was running it for my group. And I was playing a witch. And we were playing through the adventure path that was kind of based on Call of Cthulhu. I forget what it's called. All right, so we're going to trim that up. And that makes our stripe look more consistent. Yay! Strange Aeons, okay. Yeah, Pathfinder Witch was fun. Like, there were times I kind of felt at low level that I really couldn't do much, but I'm fine with, like, role-playing and coming up with interesting ideas. So I really don't mind if I'm playing a character that I feel like maybe isn't as just effectual, like, damage-wise right straight out the gate. Alright, now we're going to get another diamond down there on the bottom. Wasn't really playing along with the creepy horror vibes. Yeah, that's disappointing, Epsilon. I mean, that depends on your group, right? I really liked the Ravenlofty one. That was the one that when I tried running Pathfinder, I liked that one. We only got through the first part. But the horror one was pretty fun. I like a lot of the themes behind the stories and the adventure paths for Pathfinder. But the system is just hard for me to run as a GM. Because I feel there's so much to juggle, so much to know. But it was decently fun to play. Yeah. How did your stream go, Carrie Michael? I saw you on David actually was watching you for a while because he keeps once Reaper raids, he usually will keep whoever they raid on the screen while he's working. He saw your dragon, he thought it looked interesting. It has different, like, the first adventure's situated kind of around ghosts, and then there's, like, a second one that's around, like, kind of like a flesh construct, and the third one is werewolves. And it's set in whatever that kind of Transylvanian, Ravenlofty territory in the Pathfinder world is. Ustav? Can't remember. I like the setting. Yeah, Ustalov. I was right. Hey, I remembered. Whoa, M. Fontana. Good. Yeah, the camera looked really good from what I saw, Carrie. Yeah, you haven't got time for both. Yeah, and a good DM, I mean, if you're a good DM, Tiger, then, I mean, you're worth your weight in gold, really. Not everybody can be a good DM, and certainly not everybody has the will to do it, right? Or to put the time into it. So, if you like it, if you enjoy it, then I'd say keep doing it. Yeah, we don't have a group out here yet. I had to put this game on hiatus, the stream game on hiatus, because I was feeling crunched with so much. And when I bring stream game back, I may, like, focus more on just a couple of characters. Because we have 4 characters, but I think that it won't work to give them all equal amounts of story time. And everybody likes Zari and Xandros. So I think we'll work Cassia's story in with theirs. There we go. So that's pretty decent. That's kind of fun. And you wouldn't necessarily know that it was spades right away. You have to look at it. I just have those little black interruptions, and so then that's my next thing to ask, really, is, you know, is I'm gonna have to figure out, do I want these little dark spots? It does kind of break it up with an interesting pattern, and I can't, the area is so small that trying to add a shape in there just won't work. Good, Arcane Void. DMing in about an hour. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I think that as you get older, I don't know, you're better able to kind of juggle the GMing stuff. I have more fun with it now than I did when I was younger. Also, Big Tiger. Alrighty, I think we're pretty sharp here. Just want to make sure that all my design is really nice and sharp and clear, because once I start glazing colors over this, I need it all to stand out. And the moment of truth is going to come, because I'm going to have to figure out what color everything really is. Oh, it is a lot of work. Adventure Paths to Completion. That takes a lot of time to get through those. Yeah, good, Carrie Michael. I'm glad that the camera worked. It did seem like it was working on the bones. Yeah, I hope so. I hope that some of your friends do like tune in. I mean, there's so many good painters out there painting, and so many fun painters that, you know, and it's free. It's pretty much free content. So, I mean, of course we all appreciate it when you guys sub or, you know, do whatever, but it's a great way to get your questions answered and see somebody actually working with techniques that you read about, but maybe you don't really get. But if you find somebody with a really good camera who explains while they paint, it can really help you. Oh yeah, the Shattered Star one. Is that what's the kind of theme on that one, Absalon? I'm not familiar with that one. Yeah, I like a lot of the stories. A lot of story and setting from some of the Pathfinder adventure paths. Oh, all right. So the Rod of Seven Parts type of thing. Got it. Like the old D&D Rod of Seven Parts. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, right. Yeah, I agree. Watching other people paint is very instructive. Watching David paint for me is very instructive. Because he just paints totally differently than I do. Oh, we got on to D&D just talking about... Absalom wanted to know how long ago it was I played with Pathfinder, Pendrake. And I did mention that I was thinking about focusing on... When we come back to the game, I'm thinking about focusing on mostly Zari and Xandros' storylines. And having Cassia's storyline just kind of like work in with theirs. Because I realized that it would make for a tighter story. There we go. Awesome. Whew. But right now I am kind of just trying to get my breath back. I still have a lot to do before the end of the month. Sometimes it isn't even like... It's like there's just so much to do. Like there's so much in my life to balance. Like the whole work-life balance thing, really difficult for me these days. So I needed a break. Because I feel like I'm on a big seesaw sometimes where it's like either I like go whole hog into life and then I feel like I've neglected work, or I like workaholic and then I feel like I've neglected life, and I spend every night doing more work instead of spending time with David and stuff, and you know, trying to find the right balance is hard. Oh yeah, my stretch thing did come in. You're right, Val. Thanks. Yeah, the stretch thing came up and it was obnoxious and I made it go away and then I promptly forgot to stretch. So, all right. So while I'm stretching, I'll think about the colors in this. And if I really want to make those spades pink, I kind of do. I kind of think making spades pink is awesome. Oh, guys, for those of you who came in later, I decided to do the 3-color mini challenge for Reaper Challenge League with Trista, the White Wolf. I decided that she would be my, what color is it? There we go. I think I'm doing these guys. I think I'm doing those. So that'll be fun. Pink spades, you think so? Yeah, okay. So yeah, I'm gonna do, I'll do the pink, orange, purple, on Trista. And we'll see how, how good I can do it. How well I can do it. Oh, stretch. Stretch, 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 stretch. Yeah, I was thinking a gold border and gold little inserts, gold little diamonds, little triangles, and pink spades. It's just got to be light enough. Like, you have to pick something that's going to be highlightable enough so that you can make those spades still be very crisp. I think I can make it work. Like, it's going to have to be silver NMM, or it's going to have to be a little bit different. I won't be able to really use gold. But otherwise, the NMM should be fine. You've got black and white. You can do NMM with black and white. It's just everything is steel at that point. Alright, I'm going to do my cat cows. But yeah, it'll be a good challenge. I kind of have ideas on what I want to do with it, Carrie, so we shall see. Stretch, everybody. It's getting late in the day, but we must stretch. It's probably more important now than it is even in the morning to stretch. Because your body is getting locked in to its desk position. Alright, up. Here we are. Time to hydrate. But yeah, the other thing I could do is copper NMM. Copper and silver. Copper is entirely achievable with these, I think. We'll see. Maybe not, but... Oh, you can't do no white. No. No, it's black and white in addition to 3 colors, right? You would never, I mean, you have to have white for NMM. There's no other way to do it. If you don't have that bright white highlight, it won't look like metal. That's just the bottom line right there. Hello, Paints Elamander. Welcome. I am Anne. I work for Reaper, and I do their morning stream over on the Reaper Miniatures Twitch, and this is my personal private channel. So I've been doing some freehand on this Halfling. She's a 75mm Halfling rogue. And I was talking to people about the Reaper Challenge League, which is a whole different topic. But yeah, this is my girl. She's coming along. But I decided I wanted to fancy up her leggings. So... yeah, I don't think you can do, like, if I had to do it that way, Carrie Michael, there's no way to do it. Like, there is, the only off-white that fits as a purple is spectral white. So if you had spectral white, yes, you could probably do it that way. But yellow really isn't high enough. This is Trista Pendrake. She's going to be my 3-color challenge. Yeah, I mean, hard mode is hard mode, but if I can't paint a good-looking model, then I'm not going to bother with it. I don't believe in hard mode for hard mode's sake, I guess, that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to, like, put myself on hard mode just to be on hard mode. I really like limited palette painting, but I enjoy it as long as I have a light and a dark. But yeah, if it was truly only 3 colors and not 3 colors plus black and white, then I would probably not do it. I wouldn't find it enjoyable. Or I'd have to just do something super simple. I wouldn't be able to do like a real model like Trista with armor and leather and hair and skin and all that. So yeah, I don't know. Where is my black? Black. I was going to think about maybe mapping in some freehand on the cloak. But I haven't really come up with it. What do you guys think? Like, should I do a big spade and then a border with little spades? Because I could do a big spade and do some, like, more intricate stuff. Maybe even kind of a design. Let's try that. I can always paint over it. This back of this cloak is just base coated, really. Oh, I do need to thin my walnut, though. It's definitely getting a little stodgy. But yeah, I didn't know there was a hard mode on the 3-color challenge. I guess if you had a really pale yellow, then you could use that to get better NMM. But otherwise, he's so, like, it just really won't really look like metal in my opinion. Maybe, I guess if you used really dark colors for the rest of it, so the yellow looked like really bright and poppy. Oops, I blurfed. Ah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, if I was choosing to paint with only 3 bottles of paint, then I would be doing... I would have probably I would have gone muted instead. I would have done but this is hard because, yeah, I would have had to do... I don't know, is there a really pale pink? Yeah, technically, okay, so if I was going to do that, it would be Pale Flesh for the pink. It would be something like Kraken ink for the purple. Because you got it something that's almost black and almost white. And then I'm going to have to get something in there that's going to, orange that's going to mute out. I don't know what orange I would pick. Maybe orange brown? Maybe? I'd have to see what I could get, what I could accomplish with that. But you lose, like, at that point you really are painting like monochrome. You're late. Boop. But anyway, back to spades. Oh, I never do anything on the inside of a cloak. Unless it's like an inside border Cranston. It depends really on if there's going to be anything seen. I could do an inside thing, but when you look at, like, capes and stuff, usually if they're going to have designs or fancy embroidery, it's usually on the outside. The inside is in shadow, so if you did do anything, and it also flows out behind her quite a bit, so it's like that. So if I was going to do anything, it would just be the border. Like if I do a big spade on the back here, a centralized spade that's kind of stylized, then if I do a border of little spades down here, I'll probably continue that on the inside, but not anything else. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. I don't know if I have enough room, Pendrake. I was kind of thinking more, kind of like knot work almost. She's fancy. I don't know. I was thinking about, when I think about stylizing, I'm just like, let's start with the outline. Oh, we want to make sure that our outline is actually in the middle of the cape. See, it's tempting to just choose here, right? Because it looks like it's equidistant, but it's really not the center. The center is actually right here. They put a nice handy fold there so that you can see what the actual center of the cape is. So actually I need to start here. And then I need to take my spade out. And my spade out on the other side. I have to figure out like how far, this is where I'm kind of like figuring out how far and out and down I want to go. Again, drop kind of a plumb line to figure out where your middle point is. And this is just a sketch, so from here I will pretty much adjust. Like I'll adjust if I need to stem over a bit, or if I need to adjust the lower line of this and bring it up a little bit, which I do. Now the cape is also kind of flaring and tilting toward the side. That's going to affect any freehand. When you're deciding what sort of freehand to do on a cape, always like look at whether it's pulling one way or another and if that's going to really disrupt your freehand. Spade is point up. I could do a skull in here, I guess, but I don't know. I like design. I don't really like representational art. Like I like to take a design and make it kind of abstract it out, make it more stylized. She actually doesn't have any skulls on her, so I don't feel like I want to replicate a design I don't have to. If she had a skull on her somewhere, that would be different. But she's kind of a fancy pants. So I don't know. I'm not a big fan of skull factor where it's not warranted. Like, that comes from, you know, working for Games Workshop where skull factor is everywhere. And in fact, I get distasteful. Like, some of their models I would love, except that the skull factor is so glaringly obvious. Alright, this actually needs to come up a little bit more. And probably want to bring it out a little bit. So I'm not going to lose as much of it behind there. I don't think that's big enough to really do, like, you could do a skull underneath it, I guess, but then it'll interrupt my little March of the Spades band across the bottom here. So if I've got the basis of this, kind of trim it up and play with it until it looks correct. Now, what would make sense, actually... Oh, this could be good, actually. I should have almost inverted the spade. I just got a really good idea. Yep, skull factor. That's what they call it. Okay, so there's a tarot card that's a heart with 3 swords sticking out of it. That's what I need to do on the back here. Except it needs to be a spade. So it's like... I think I'm right, though. I think I can do a sword, a sword, and a sword. I think I have enough room. It's the 3 of hearts. It's a very sad card. So let's do one sword here. Because she definitely likes her blades. And then another sword coming in here. Kind of, again, sketching things out, and then I can bring them back in. Can add details to them. Just need to know that it's a sword, really. Yep, the 3 of swords. Sorry, not 3 of hearts. 3 of swords impaling hearts. Very sad card. Not a happy card. But pretty suitable for somebody who wants to bring misery to other people. And then we can really like make the spade pink, because then it'll be like a heart. Maybe you were subconsciously channeling the Three of Swords, Pendrake. So again, just sketching this design out to see if I will like it. I like it so far. It lets me put an asymmetrical element in with where the swords go into the spade heart. I think I don't want to make the spade upside down though, because that would be very close to, then you really would just see it as a heart. And I want the spade. I want it to be spades. Definitely spades. I don't know how bright yet. Krios, I haven't really decided. Obviously, if it's big, it has danger of being extremely bright. But if I make this very stylized heart, and I do like kind of little designs inside of it, and I don't make it a realistic heart, then maybe I don't need to make it too bright. Let me see here. Let's bring this down. I wonder if I do like a swoop here. I'm just going to try to play around with some lines. I used to like to do kind of a segmenting pattern on things that I did. So I kind of want to do that. Do kind of a stripe there where the sword there goes in, and then another one where this sword goes in, and make that swoop around. And it's just extrapolating from the design I'm already dealing with, and that sword is kind of hitting the outside of the spade, so it's not going to get a cut off. But here I could do another one just for fun. So kind of an interesting chess kind of segmented design that we can then do some patterns and interesting things with. Almost like it's quilted. Think different bits of fabric with this quilted design on the back of the cape. Now I'm just going to bring it a little stronger. Yeah, I kind of like that. That's neat. That's cool. I like it. Let's see here. And then if I want to do a band across the bottom, I have to look at where I want it. Do I want it on the very edge of the cape, or do I want it up a bit? I certainly have enough room here to make a band and leave the bottom of the cape. So yeah, I tend to like stylized art, Krios. I really like different shapes interlocking inside of areas, and using like kind of integrated designs inside of designs. I'm gonna swoop this a little bit more because I like the swoop. And it works with the swords. It's not too crazy, but now because I'm doing this to the spade, that gives me permission to make the swords very stylized and not go very realistic, but to go with a very, very stylized design. There. So we can work with that. Yeah, I just don't. Yeah, I like this. I like this. This is it adds interest. It's in theme for her because she has blades all over her model. The spade theme is what I'm introducing to her to give her a gambler element, and then so the swords and the spade go together. And the swords go together with the spade because the spade suit was actually the sword suit in tarot cards. So it's it all fits. Yay, it fits. So now I'm gonna block in where I want my band. It's got to be equidistant. I don't want it too wide. I think I want it kind of here and here so that these areas are similar. And that's a fairly wide band, so it will let me put a bunch of spades on it. So that's a question mark. The band is a question mark. But when you have a central design like this, and if you don't have it encased in a circle or some sort of thing to set it off, putting a band under it to kind of give it a grounding point is really, I don't know, Pendrick, I hadn't decided. I was kind of thinking that way, but I could also just do them right side up and do diamonds, or the triangles on either side. When I'm doing this, it's pretty much just winging it. Like, I'm doing it, I'm seeing if it looks good. So when you're doing a band like this, make sure that you actually do your line on the bottom first. It's easier to compare with how far you are with the bottom of the cloak here. So if you try to do it up here, you're almost always going to wobble. It's not going to be, it's harder to judge how far you are from the hem, but the line closer to the hem, it's easier to judge. So you can usually keep it like, keep a good equidistant line, and that'll let your band also be the right distance, you know, from the bottom of the top of the band will also be the right distance, because you can use this line then as a guide. It's just a little bit easier. Hello, Solway. Wow, thanks for the raid. We're mapping in some freehand on our halfling rogue. Welcome, everybody. Of course, this happens right when I'm about to go out. It seems like everybody stops painting at like 6 p.m. Central. And that's usually my end time as well. But what we've been doing here is this this lovely little halfling rogue. She's from Black Crow. She's a 75 millimeter halfling, so she's only 55 millimeters tall. And I decided that she was kind of snaztastic, and I decided she needed pink to be her accent. Hey, ahoy. And then, then I figured that she was also a gambler. So swords and spades are kind of her shticks. So then we were going and doing this. That is a serious load of emojis, Solway. Serious load of emojis. So do you miniature paint, Solway? And if so, what do you tend to do? And if not, what do you tend to do? I'm just showing people how, if you're going to do a band of freehand across the bottom of this cloak, you want to start with your space here so that you can, your bottom line, like my band is actually going to go here. But if I do my bottom line first, it's much easier to kind of eyeball to make sure that I'm the same distance away from it all the way across. And then when I go to put in the top of the band, then it's much easier to line it up with my pre-existing line. Ah, okay, so you do the stuff actually. You do this, the only thing I have not yet dipped my toe into, vehicles. I am pretty high level miniature painter at this point. I work for Reaper. I do their morning stream, but you know, I do things like that. She's not quite done. Obviously, she has no eyeballs, but yeah. But yeah, I do a morning show on Reaper's stream about 11:30 a.m. Central on Reaper Miniatures Twitch, and then this is my own private stream. I just work on my, for now, I work on my competition models. We also ran a little bit of D&D here and there. But that's cool. So what's your favorite army in GW? I have an Eldar army I haven't touched in ages. And before that I had orcs, and before that I had Tyranids. I am a Xeno-Skrull, I'm afraid. Let's see. So let's continue our little border here. Eldar for life. All right. Yeah, I still love Tyranids. I love Tyranids and Orcs, but the Horde armies were killing me because I'm a slow painter. And I never really got into the airbrush, so I kind of gave up on those armies, and I went toward Eldar, which I'd always liked. I'd always liked the aesthetic of the Eldar, but they're such a painter's army that I was like, if I paint these, I'm gonna have to do a good job on them. And I was like, well, but you're doing a good job in your Tyranids, and it's taking you forever, so you may as well just go for it. Yeah, Dark Eldar. That was how I got into 40k. Was that box that had the Dark Eldar in it? Thanks for the follow, VCR. You don't paint armies. Yeah. Oh, it is. You're right. Well, not just a display painter. Display painting is awesome. That's what I do also. I mean, although I am known to paint a model for D&D every once in a while. But the only army I paint now is my own. Let's see, is that about the right distance? Yeah, about the right distance. Yes, good. And if we want to trim it up, of course, I have my dark color so I can correct it. But I'm just using real thin white just so I can paint over it very easily and also can do fine lines with it. We'll map out this. Ah, Necron. Yeah, so you can pick and choose what to paint. Yeah, that's what I always did. When I used to sell on eBay, I did a lot of Games Workshop away, and then I liked doing it because I could just pick the most awesome leader model from each faction and paint that, right? And you don't have to like just paint one thing. I agree. That's the way to do it and stay happy with it, for sure. There we go. I worked for GW at that time also, so I was getting the employee discount. That's why I worked for them. I worked for them like 10 hours a week in their office, and at that point they were in Glen Burnie, Maryland, just to get the discount. And the rest of my income was freelance painting, which is a lot more doable now. All right, we're getting that mapped in. At least I'll get the limits of the band delineated here, and then we'll fill it in with little spades probably next time. Ah, yes. Yes, drive safe, Chibi. Yeah, this will be a fun cape. It took me a while to figure out what I wanted to do with it, but now that I've got my kind of stylized, like, Three of Swords spade, I like it. Plus, I like tarot cards. I think they've got a lot of cool imagery, so being able to kind of draw from one is actually pretty awesome. But, yes, we're just blocking that in. Yeah. Oh, back in the day. Okay, when I worked there was ages ago. Because I worked for Reaper for 17 years before I moved. I moved out here to be with my boyfriend out to the West Coast. And so before I was with Reaper, that was when I was with Games Workshop. And back in those days, it was $8, I think, a kilo. Because everything was in metal still. Well, except for some of the units were just getting into the plastic, right? But a lot of the stuff was still in metal, and it was like $8 a kilo. You could just go, yeah, you could pick up a Bloodthirster for $7. It was just insane. So totally worth it. But yeah, now the discount is a lot less, I hear. But yeah. Those were the days. There we go. So now we're using our positioning of our lower line to line up our upper line so that we can get a nice evenly spaced banner. And going in and out of folds, always fun. Not. But yeah, those were in the Dark Ages. I'm old. But yeah, I've worked for a lot. As a painter, I've worked for a lot of companies. I still do some work for Dark Sword Miniatures. GW working at headquarters, and then I worked a little bit in retail in the Chicagoland area. And then Reaper for years and years and years. I developed the Reaper paint line, so like Master Series is my baby. I used to mix every batch by hand. For 15 years, I mixed every batch by hand. And I created all the colors and stuff, so when I stream, I talk a lot about like the paint and how it works best, and we sometimes talk a little bit on my personal stream here about the differences between paint lines and what they're good for. a lot of paint lines nowadays are going for a thicker base for higher coverage, and it's better at some things, and then the thinner base paints are better for other things. So yeah, it's a world of paint. Oh, okay. Well, give her a white a try. I mean, I always say pure white is the best white in any line of paint ever in any world or universe. You can essentially thin our pure white down to like nothing, and it will not separate. It will not fall out of solution, which I love for when I'm doing fine work or when I'm trying to do fine details. I use an old-fashioned wall palette. I don't use a wet palette. Because I like to control my paint consistency, I'm kind of a stickler for it. I want to get my paint to exactly the consistency I want, and then I just want to paint for a while. So, yeah. Well, when I was first, when I was around when I had just left GW, most of the mini painters I knew were just complaining because they couldn't find a white that they could thin down like immensely and still have it stay in solution and still be able to do things with it, still be able to like layer smoothly with it, right? So when I went to Reaper, I made that a priority. I made it a priority to get a white that I could thin like 4:1 and it wouldn't fall out of solution, so that you could do whatever you needed to do with it. For layering, I think the optimal is 2.5:1 water to paint. There we go. That's not bad. I've gotten a little bit wide over here, so I'll have to adjust that later, but that at least is a start. Reaper pretty much like stopped going to Gen Con, but I will be going probably to Adepticon. It's actually where David and I started dating 2 years ago. So our 2-year anniversary is the anniversary of Adepticon 2019. So David and I will almost certainly keep going to Adepticon, especially if they go forward and they put Golden Demons there again. Because David wants to enter Golden Demons, and I have a couple of Golden Demons, and I wouldn't mind getting another. So we want to enter the competition. So, yeah, we'll probably be going to Adepticon. I don't know about Gen Con. The problem with Gen Con is it's so huge. You see everybody you know in the industry for like 5 seconds each. And it's so expensive, and it's ridiculous to get a hotel, and, you know, the story goes on, right? Liquitex White Ink. Yeah, I've heard that. A lot of people going for White Ink. Yep. It'll be 9039 pure white. It is, this is our highest pigmented white. So it's got a load of white pigment in it. And like I said, it's very, very thinnable. Very layerable. Give it a try. See if you like it. If you don't like it, I won't hold it against you. But a lot of our skin tones have similar consistency to the white. It builds off of a base that's very similar. Yeah, I haven't used the Pro Acryl because I'm so happy with my pure white. But yeah, this is the problem when you make your own paint line. Is like if you start using other paint lines, people are like, "Why are you cheating on your paint?" You know, you made this, isn't it your perfect paint? That kind of thing. But that said, I do like the other stuff that I like to use is the Scale 75 tube paint, the artist color. I like it. I have heard the Pro Acryl is good though. I will have to try to pick up a bottle if it jumps. If I see it at a show or something, I'll jump on it because I do like to try other lines paints. Like I like to keep up on it, even though I passed off the paint department to my protege Sadie when I moved here. But even though I no longer do that, I still like to keep my hand in because designing the paint line was probably the thing that I'm like really enjoyed that I did for Reaper, even above staff painter and stuff like that. So I like to see what other companies are doing and what the new technology is like, because paint is always evolving. Like people are always trying to do new stuff. They're developing better, you know, different pigments, different ways of doing things, different bases. You know, they're always experimenting for the new hot thing. So I do like to see what other companies are coming out with and kind of figure out what they're doing chemistry wise, because that's interesting to me. So bye, Solway. It was really nice to see you and meet you. Yeah. Yes. You have a great day too. I'm going to probably call it here and, be back next Tuesday. I do Tuesday, Thursday. But yes, thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you, new people. It's nice to meet you all. So yeah, I'm Anne, and we do this Tuesday and Thursday, and I'm probably going to be working on Halfling Girl till I get her done. The other thing I've been working on lately, thanks for the follow, Servitor. The other thing I've been working on lately is a bust, which is this Paladin, or Templar, I should say. And we're doing kind of a non-metallic metal here. So we're trying to get a sky reflection and kind of the forest reflection and some of the greens and stuff on her cool shoulder pad. So I really love her. She's way cool. I have a Patreon, patreon.com/paintingbig also. And then, like I said, if you just want to watch for free and get paint tips, and if you like Reaper Miniatures, I do Reaper Miniatures morning show, which is about 11:30 a.m. Central Time USA. And that's on twitch.tv/Reaper Miniatures. Yes. Yeah, isn't she? Isn't she, Lamunas? I love this mini. So I'm going to do crazy freehand on all of this. She's going to be my top level competition piece for whenever we next go to a competition that will feature her. But I've really enjoyed painting her. So I'm just working with the NMM a lot lately. But yeah, Galapagos in general is a fantastic company, right? Like, I have yet to see a bad miniature from Galapagos. They're just lovely. So, but yeah, I really want to finish this guy. I just got my Arthurian, my Big Child Kickstarter, the Arthurian thing, the Echoes of Camelot. I want to start on the Green Knights so bad, and I have to finish this first. I've told myself I had to. So yeah, thanks everybody. I have to go and start getting ready to work on parts of dinner. So I hope you all have a great day, and I hope to see you at some point in the future. Toss me a follow if you like what I'm working on. Thanks. All right, guys. Oh, hey, who should we raid? Who's out there? Who's out there? Who's out there? Oh, Reaper Live. So yeah, let's go. We usually raid Reaper on Thursday. Yeah, I'll go over and raid Reaper. Reaper Live is when Reaper gives everybody kind of updates on what they're doing. So raid Reaper Live, and they're probably in the middle of being silly. Reaper Miniatures. Let's queue up. Oh, it told me I was silly and that I typed wrong, which is not unusual. Yes, bye everybody. Here, I'll send you guys over to Reaper and you can decide whether to stay with the weird chatter over there if you want. Have a good one.